My name is Geeta Sidhu-Robb. How many times have you met people that were very successful and you found it surprising, but they were kind of smaller than you thought, or shorter, or more boring, and it somehow kind of diminished them? They weren't this incredible, huge persona that you thought they were. And when I say successful, I'm talking about very famous actors, I'm talking about people that are very famously wealthy and millionaires and billionaires. And that's because a lot of success is very much a kind of an outward achievement. Just because somebody's extremely famous or extremely rich doesn't actually mean that they're an interesting person. But it is such a universal goal. We're programmed to grow up, to build ourselves in and become super, super successful, because that is our goal. And many, many of my clients are very successful, and I'm sure you're very successful. But what happens is we are finding that we become more and more in a space where the more successful we get outwardly, the more lonely and alone we feel inwardly. And this is particularly true for women, because women tend to be more collaborative. Women tend to live in more communities. Women tend to actually like to be within teams and with people. So when women become very, very successful, it tends to be that their success starts to isolate them. And this is something that has happened more, particularly in the last 10 years that I've run my business, Nosh. I've found that the way women operate and the way we are developing in today's society is we are becoming more and more successful out of necessity. We are the breadwinners of our families. I have to pay my bills. Success is not a luxury for me, and it's not an option, so I have to be successful. But we're not set up with support systems to help us with that success. So I have a client who is very, very successful, came to me and said, and this just doesn't feel the way I thought it would feel. And I'm like, well, why? And she goes, because when someone says, oh, you're so successful, she goes, I know that I had a row with my daughter this morning, that I'm not connecting with my husband because we just don't have that same thing that we used to have. And that this is almost just money. Of course, I want the money, and it's not like I don't want to make it, but it's the only place I feel successful. So it doesn't go into the rest of my life. So I feel like a fake. Does this happen to you? Because if it does, you need to redefine your success more as a growth and an evolution of you as a person than as the size of your bank account. The bank account is super important, let me tell you. I am with you on this one. I think money is deeply important. I think making money is deeply important. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that become a successful person in order to live a successful life. And that success is dependent so much on the level of confidence you have as a woman. When we sit nowadays and we go in and I see companies that aren't paying women as much, and I see women having to work harder to make the same money, I see women saying, I want to run my business in a different way because this is the purpose of my business. It's here to feed my children. These are different definitions of success. But as women, we also think success is having children or not having children, but making that choice. Not having it made for us. Success is also, I want to be in a partnership with this person. I want an intimate, successful relationship because that really matters to me. Because this place where I have this relationship with this person I'm with actually matters more than if I can go and sleep with 20 people every single week, because that's just not what I want to do every single week. I mean, you can pick the odd week where you want to do that. Not every single week. That was a joke. So it's very, very important for you to decide for yourself what success looks like. For me, can I tell you my definition of success? My definition of success, which I help my clients with, is where I like myself, where I feel confident about myself. Women's roles, women are like diamonds, right? We have many, many facets. There are so many roles that women have to play. I am, just me. I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a sister, I am a partner, I am a CEO of a business, I am a chair of a charity. I mean, I run all of this stuff and I am all of these things in me. So if I don't think about who I am as a human, and if I don't feel successful as a woman, as me, I don't fulfill any of those roles successfully. And that's the most important thing. When you feel confident, you show up as successful. In order for you to show up as your most successful version, go to the idea of unpacking beliefs. Where is it that you feel overwhelmed? Pick the 4 top things that make you feel terrible. It's the concept that I use again and again. And I teach my clients, it's called the system of having a success marker. Success is not the goal you want. Success is the thing that if it doesn't work, your life doesn't work and you carry it through the rest of your day. As a mother, it's for me always going to start with my kids. I need my children to be okay for my life to feel like it can function. Then it becomes, can I pay our bills? And then my life can function. Then it becomes, is the team that works for me happy? And then my life functions. So I have different success markers. And when those success markers are teed up, I feel successful. Then I show up as successful. So write down the things from 1 to 5 that if they didn't work, you would feel terrible. And start with there first. Break them down one by one and then go on to the next one. And that's where you will feel confident, powerful, and successful.